here with Mastiff Home Buyers, Lead with Abundance Coaching, and our community Intuitive Wealth Leaders, which, if you've been here before, you know it's about building internal and external wealth. So today, I don't really have anything hugely motivational and scripted. I thought that I would talk a little bit on some technical things. I'm also trying out, as you know, the third-party software that I use it doesn't let me post or stream into groups or certain things on Facebook. There's many steps that you have to go through to get it to uh, go live on Instagram. So I am live on Instagram. I am just live on my phone. So if you see me looking over there, that's why, because I have sort of two audiences here, one here with the rest stream and one here with Instagram. So today, I guess let's start out by just saying I think everybody needs a reminder. We need to all just be kind. No matter what's going on in our lives, we need to be kind to everybody else and not lash out at people and not blame people for whatever's going on in our life. So I see too much meanness out there and too many people just being not nice. So just be nice. It's pretty simple. Those of you that have small businesses know that it is an enormous task to keep those businesses going every day. And there's a lot of things to do, and you wear a lot of hats. It's not like the corporate world where you have a role and you have a job and you do this one job. It's like you do 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 of those because you might be the only one. So you're doing all of the things that you'd have team members doing uh, in a corporation. So whether you work in a corporation or whether you work growing your own business, you can help yourself be productive. And I wanted to give you some tips about that, being productive and creating some accountability around being productive and having a place where or a system. We all talk about systems, a system by which you create productivity for yourself. So uh, I actually uh, probably need to go through and revamp my system because it's kind of fallen off the wagon and not been working. So the thing about creating systems and for your business or for yourself at home really is that those systems need to be executed to the point of habit. So if you're not executing to the point of habit, it's really not going to work very well. And you're going to maybe fall off and you stop doing it for a little bit because you go on vacation or, you just get behind and you just don't follow through with it as well as you were. So you need to go back to uh, creating those habits around those systems. So one of the things that's helped me, and I've started doing this, so every morning I did create a morning routine. I think I've shared that morning routine with some folks. If you want help creating that morning routine, I actually use ChatGPT to help me create that morning routine. So if you want the prompt that I used, let me know and I'll give that to you. So you can plug it in there and see if ChatGPT will give you a good morning routine that you can utilize. I'm sure you could use other, it's not Bard anymore. I don't remember what the Google one is. But anyways, there are others besides ChatGPT that can probably do the same thing, but I can give you the prompt. So message me if you'd like that. So I created a routine for myself, which included a 5-minute meditation, just 5 minutes, because I know that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit still long enough to meditate for a long period of time. It's just not me. Now, maybe I'll be able to increase that over time as I create habits and as it becomes more comfortable for me. but not today. So we're starting with 5 minutes. And then one of the things that I enjoy is to listen to Audible or listen to some podcasts or something to learn. And so I now am plugging in to learn and spending 10, 15, 20 minutes listening to something that I enjoy so that that's how I start my day. And then I have some time for planning, and then I have some time for focused productivity. But the point is, it's not what I'm doing, because I'm not saying what I'm doing is what you need to do, because you need to create your own system that works for you, and everybody's is different. So, but what I'm doing is creating the habit. So by doing it every day, it becomes a habit. Just like I get up, when I first get up, I go in the bathroom, I wash my face, and I brush my teeth. And then I go and I let the dogs out, and we go outside for them to go to the bathroom. And that has become a habit. And how do I know it's a habit? It's a habit because when I don't get to do it in that order, it bothers me. I'm like, "Oh gosh, I had to take these dogs out and I didn't, they were jumpy, they were crying, they wanted out right now, so I didn't get to wash my face and brush my teeth before I let them out." So I know it's a habit. So I've created a habit around that, and you can create habits similarly with other things. So create your habits around whatever it is that you want. So I'm working on creating my habits about my morning routine. So step one, step two, step three, and I don't always do them in the same order. I just try to get them done. And so again, those are habits that I have used a prompt using Chat GPT to help me design what my morning routine should be. Uh, so aside from that, creating those habits and your systems, how do you get yourself organized and how do you really just start? So my recommendation is, really start with a brain dump. And that's how I start. And anytime I get behind, I just redo this. So a brain dump is really, you just take everything that you need to do and you just dump it on a piece of paper, on a notepad, on your phone, um, whatever. Excuse me. Just dump it out there, all the things that you need to do, whether it's personal, professional. You might want to keep it in, do different pages or different blocks or something for personal versus business versus work versus whatever. And then just write everything down. Write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. Everything in just one big list. That in and of itself helps your brain recognize that you've done something with it, and it lets your brain relax. So I'm going to talk about David Allen and the Getting Things Done. This is the workbook. I actually have the book. I've done Audible. I listen to books, but I also have this book. And so David Allen, Getting Things Done, helps structure a process. So if you don't have this, I would highly recommend this for anybody that's trying to create some structure and processes around their day and businesses and lives. So David Allen, one of his quotes in the workbook says, "A commitment kept in your head will be given too much or too little attention." And isn't that the case for everybody? So you have something that you need to do in your head. I need to pay the water bill. And it just rolls in your head. It rolls in your head and I got to pay the water bill. I got to pay the water bill. Well, it's taking up space and it's using energy to remember that. And the other end of it is maybe you let it go and then you forget about it and you forget to pay the water bill, which is what I do. I forget to pay the water bill. So I'm like, I got to pay the water bill, got to pay the water bill. And then I forget to pay the water bill and then it's late. So I'm like, oh, darn, I didn't pay the water bill. So uh, it's on both ends of that. So by using systems And one, starting with this brain dump to brain dump everything out there, you have systems for handling that. So let's use my water bill as an example. So if I take my water bill and I know what day it's due. So maybe I create an action on my calendar that says, on this day, I'm going to write a check for the water bill. And maybe or maybe not, maybe I do take it that day, because we actually physically drop ours off. I think we can pay online now, but we're in a rural area, so for a long time we couldn't do that. So I'm still in the habit of writing the check and driving over there and dropping it off in their little slot. So uh, I may or may not do that the same day that I write the check, which is okay. But there's just another step. It's like, so I have written the check and I have the water bill. Now, what's the next step? When you get to this point of what's the next step, you either need to, one, do it and execute it, or create a reminder or a task so that you can get it done. So maybe I put it on my calendar for tomorrow when I'm out driving around that I need to go and pay the water bill. So the key is having everything written and ultimately being able to always ask yourself, okay, what's the next action? What's the next step? What am I going to do next? Because when you can ask yourself that question for all of your to-dos, you can start to prioritize them, and it helps you figure out which ones you need to focus on now, and which ones you can put off for later. So I have a lot of things that I'm like, oh well, I may want to do that, and so I like put it in a pile. I may want to do that. I may want to read that. I may want to take a look at what's going on in that magazine or that book or whatever. And then, I put it in a pile, and then the pile just keeps getting bigger. Well, you have to make a decision of whether you're actually going to, um, you know, take action on that. And maybe there is no action. And so maybe you have a basket that's like, these are my no action. These are like the things that I might get to someday. But don't stress about them. They're in their place, and they're not amongst the things that you need to get done today. So that's one of the worst things. And I have a terrible inbox here, I will admit. I'll actually show it to you. I've been throwing things in this box, and it has a whole bunch of different stuff. And I need to go through it and ultimately put it into the system, which is, what are the things that I need to get done this week? Put on my task list. What are the things that I need to maybe I need something from somebody else, possibly, and then what are the things that can be someday that I can just put out, put in another, or I can leave in this box. Maybe this is my someday box. I leave in the box, and it really becomes what I'm going to handle maybe someday, but I don't really have to. So that's a relief to like have all those things that maybe I don't need to have them do anything with them. Maybe they're just a resource. So I have a resource pile and just put stuff in the resource pile. And then you don't have to constantly think about what am I going to do with this, and just move it around on your desk, which is what a lot of people do. So, so think about that. And all of this that I'm talking about is not in any particular order, but all of this is what is talked about in the book. So if you're interested in, getting yourself organized, uh, that is something that you can do with this book. So another one of his quotes is clarifying. These are just in the workbook, so you can get this workbook on Amazon. Clarifying getting your inbox, like everything that's in that you have to do, to empty doesn't mean actually doing all those things. It just means identifying each item and deciding what it is and where it goes. So think about that because you can even apply that to your email. How many emails do you have in your email box? I have a couple thousand, but in my defense, I think that there are some that are lingering from when uh, I had 2 mailboxes, and so I was actually getting 2 of a bunch of stuff, and so some of those I think are lingering from uh, I don't remember what the mailbox is called, but I they're all still in there, and I can't seem to find them to delete them, so I don't even know what they are. But if you think about this as it applies to an inbox and email, when you take an email, if you open it, put it somewhere. So or if you don't open it, put it in a resource file. So I started organizing some of my um, email boxes using the rules that you can set up to have them go over into a file. And so they're not in your inbox. And if they're not in your inbox, they're not right there in front of you where they bother you. You can just put them over there. So if it's a newsletter that I might like to read sometime, or some kind of resource thing. It's not really important stuff that I have to attend to in my daily work. Let it go over there. And maybe I get to those, maybe I don't. Sometimes I just end up deleting a whole slew of them because they're sitting over there just taking up email space. And so I just go in and I get rid of them, and it's no, no harm, no harm. Uh, so that's one thing that you can do. Another thing is, when you have something and you need to respond to somebody, for example, create a system for handling those. So maybe they go into a file folder, maybe you mark them with a star, maybe you mark them as important, however you mark them. Maybe you make yourself a task and you organize them. So the point is going through and organizing them first and not getting stuck on responding yet. Because then you can block a chunk of time and come back and go and respond to everybody that you have in that pile of emails that you need to respond to. So that helps you kind of get in a focused groove as you're isolating time to respond to email. You've gone through and you've identified which ones you need to respond to, and then you wait till that block of time that you've created to actually respond. So that will help you be a lot more productive. One reason really is because of how the brain works, because your brain really does much better at highly focused, intensive work when you can get it going doing the same thing and rather than jumping from this to jumping to that, it will help you uh, be more productive and probably execute a better product for or a better email. So so try these things. And if you need help, let me know. I am here. As you probably know, my business is coaching, but what I do really is help you get from, help you with planning from point A to point B. So what is it that you want to accomplish? And then let's set out a plan, and I help you through that, by one, being your mirror, helping you think about what you're doing and how you're doing it, and to think about if there are ways that you can do it better, as well as, holding you accountable and maybe, sharing some tools and other things that I know about that might help you. So, if you need help, reach out. I'd love to sit down with you and help you develop a plan. All the plans are individualized for what it is that you want to accomplish. And also, if you are uh, building a business, I'd love to chat with you. See if I can help you with that structure and that plan. Business planning is very important. And then if you are looking to build some wealth, I'd love to see you in our community. We're on Facebook, Intuitive Wealth Leaders, and we're about building internal and external wealth. So, externally, as you know, I invest in real estate. So, looking to build wealth over time that's ultimately passive and can pay me without me having to do a lot of work for it. So, join us. I have lots of things to offer. This morning, there is a uh, 2-day seminar that is on success and success starting success. Now I can't even remember the name. Geez. So it is a free event, and I've put the information out there on the Intuitive Wealth Leaders site. I believe it's on my personal site. I've tried to put it about everywhere that I could, but it's by the Real Success Network. And if you are interested in anything about, improving success, accountability, planning, all of those things that help us be successful business owners, or just successful people, I think that all of the information is applicable, whether we own a business or we have a job, or if we are retired, even. So it's about being productive, and so that's out there. If you don't have it or can't find it, reach out. I can still get you the link so you can get in. It's free. It's today and tomorrow. They did start at 10 this morning. So if you're here, you're missing it. I appreciate you if you're here, but you are missing the success the success seminar. But if you need the link, let me know, and I will certainly get it out there for you if you can't find it. So I'm going to wrap up and go on with my Saturday. I may be jumping on to that seminar myself. I always learn something when I go to those. And I will see you all same place, same time next Saturday. So be here. See y'all later.